Tá, vamos ver se chegou o aviso aqui. Até agora nada.
Vai ficar já estamos ao vivo. Yes!
Já estamos ao vivo?
Nós estamos ao vivo, só no mistério.
Espera aí. Isso, já estou vendo aqui.
Nós estamos ao vivo, só no mistério. Eu, a Bíblia e a Dívia.
Tá. Vamos ver aqui. Boa noite, pessoal. Boa noite, pessoal. Logo, logo a gente abre.
Já estou chegando. Vou entrar.
1, 2, 3 e... Tá dando um eco aí.
Tá dando, fui eu.
Boa noite, pessoal. Bem-vindos ao HcO.
Chegamos de uma maneira diferente. Boa noite, mais um encontro maravilhoso de muito aprendizado, né? Como a gente continua aprendendo as coisas com o Osho, né? Coisas que a gente já sabia, né? Coisas que a gente já praticava, e aí vem o querido, e aí aprofunda mais. É uma delícia, não sei quanto a vocês, eu estou amando rever, né, essas entrevistas com o Shailendra, porque a forma como ele aprofunda o trabalho do Osho, nossa, só aumenta o meu amor por Osho. Porque é impressionante. Não para, é camada e mais camada para dentro. E tem muita curiosidade ainda para vocês. Essa entrevista tá linda, né? Daria para fazer 3 até, né, Abiro? A gente pensou até em criar 3 blocos, porque ela é
Pois é.
muito densa de informação, né?
Primeiro, boa noite mais uma vez a todos e todas. A gente gravou isso numa só gravação, né? Numa só tocada. Assim. Foi uma... eu fiquei, a Dívia também, chapado com a fala. Foi um negócio impressionante, porque veio muito conteúdo de uma vez só, e revisando as legendas, eu vi 2 ou 3 vezes já cada parte do vídeo, e recomendo que assistam de novo a parte 1, e essa parte não vejam só hoje, vejam de novo, porque parece que cada vez abre alguma coisa, alguma chave. Ele está falando de coisas que estão só em Hindi, nos livros em Hindi do Osho, da época que o Osho conduzia os campos de meditação, como é que ele fazia, como é que eram as instruções originais. quais eram as técnicas originais, como é que ele trabalhava isso, como é que foram construindo, e super, super denso, super importante, assim, realmente eu fiquei super tocado com essas entrevistas. Então, a gente recomenda que vocês assistam de novo se tiver a oportunidade de ver esta de hoje novamente, né? Eu acho que a Dívia está compartilhando nas nossas páginas de Facebook, grupos de Facebook e de apoio, então eu vou dando nossos recados aqui. Deixa eu só abrir separadinho. Bom, os nossos agradecimentos, como o vídeo de hoje é gravado, ele está ao final do vídeo, os créditos da equipe que trabalha, então eu já vou só agradecer, então, aos nossos apoiadores. Pix. Gente, a gente está com um volume intenso de gravações, de vídeos, e a gente teve que fazer uma readequação de preço de tradução, então, quem puder nos dar uma força para a gente poder continuar o trabalho é super importante, tá bom? Agradecemos aqueles que já o fazem há muito tempo, né? E também um recado importante é cuidar com as legendas sobrepostas, porque muitas vezes reclamam para a gente que tem uma legenda em cima da outra, ou como aconteceu na última entrevista do Shailendra, alguém falou que tava a legenda em inglês. Eu digo, não, mas não pode. A nossa legenda é em português e faz parte da própria gravação, já se trabalha com as legendas colocadas. Então, se aparecer outra legenda por cima, você desliga no seu próprio aparelho, né? No Facebook ali tem configurações, no cantinho da tela deve ter em algum ponto 3 pontinhos, você clica ali e coloca desativar legendas automáticas, né? Então, isso é um recado super importante. Então, pessoal, a transmissão, a gente faz tudo de casa, com os nossos próprios computadores, com pouco recurso, tá? Com nossos computadores velhinhos. Então, às vezes, a gente a gente se esmera para botar cabo na transmissão, para fazer fibra ótica, pacotes bons de internet, mas mesmo assim, às vezes trava, às vezes a legenda fica com algum problema. Então, enfim, depois no YouTube a gente recoloca se acontecer isso novamente, tá bom? Um recado importante, nós não somos um canal oficial do Osho, não somos porta-vozes da Fundação Osho Internacional, somos um grupo de amigos que gosta de contar histórias com Osho. E nosso tributo ao mestre tão lindo, né, Didi?
E é muito melhor que Netflix. Sim, é nosso tributo ao mestre, é o compartilhar, é estar com vocês nisso. Vocês são super importantes para a gente animar, continuar e deixar esse encontro cada vez mais rico, com a experiência de cada um, com a experiência de vida, né? De cada um. Acho que todos nós aprendemos a cada live, mais e mais, e isso é muito especial, muito único. Num mundo de tanta futilidade digital, a gente ter uma profundidade digital numa terça-feira à noite, um encontro que fala sobre vida, amor, celebração e meditação, é raro e muito especial, como eu disse. Então, fiquem com essa coisa linda do Shailendra e no final a gente dá um beijinho.
Também.
Tá bom? Vamos lá, ó. Cruzando os dedos. Vai dar
Até
tudo
já.
certo. Até já, gente.
Ok.
In the meditation camps until 1973, Osho used to conduct Tratak meditation at night. A method was taught while going to sleep. Make the continuous sound of oh, oh, oh. In Mumbai, Tratak was once used on a large scale as Samuhik Shaktipat, divine power descending technique on masses. What was the main goal of these methods?
Of course, the main target, the main goal of all these methods was listening to the sound of Om. Osho has given this mantra and he said, this is incomplete mantra. While you are going to sleep, just say Oh, a long Oh, then breathe in slowly, gently, again say Oh. So this was the method given in a meditation camp at Mount Abu, and Osho said, this is incomplete mantra. I'm not telling you the complete mantra. When you hear something else other than Oh, then you come to me in the afternoon and report me what you are listening. The mantra will become complete by itself. So Osho has said only this much. Now we can understand. We will say Oh, and gradually we will start listening the humming sound like Ma, and it will become a complete mantra Om. So Osho has not given the complete mantra. He said, just do Oh and wait while you are inhaling. Is something happening? If you listen something, then come and tell me in the afternoon next day. So this was one way of giving this meditation technique. And again, the blindfolds and cotton swabs were recommended in all the meditation camps. Do not use your eyes and ears to look out and hear out, but turn your energy inside. And you have asked about the Tratak meditation, in which Osho was standing on the podium and the light were focused on him only, and the audience was in darkness. This was happening in the night, and we were gazing at Osho all the time. And Osho sometimes used to raise his hands upward, and instruction was given, when he will do this, you have to jump loudly, put your whole energy in it, and then Osho will start bringing his hands down slowly. That is an indication God's grace is showering upon you. Be receptive, be receptive. So when the Tratak meditation was being conducted, Osho was not using the microphone. There was no microphone at that time. So all the instructions were given in the previous discourse, mostly in the first introductory discourse of the meditation camp. Similarly, you have talked about the Samuhik Shaktipat. This technique was done the same as Tratak on a mass scale in Mumbai, when Osho was talking on Gita Darshan, chapter 12. In discourse 9, he said, tomorrow we are going to do a special meditation in which God's blessings will shower, God's energy will come down on a mass scale. And he explained the whole thing, what is going to be done. He said, tomorrow there will be no discourse. The last discourse, which is to be done, will be done day after tomorrow. So tomorrow only those people will come who want to participate in this collective energy darshan. Shaktipat means energy showering from above. And this will be done on a big mass scale. So Osho said, I will not speak anything, I will just come. And he has given the instructions that everybody will come with a flower in his hand, and thinking that this flower is my ego. And you will come and sit silently without talking with each other and focus your attention on the flower you are having in your hands and think this is your ego. Then I will come. This he has explained one day in advance, that when I will come and I will tell you to drop the flower, at that moment you drop it and visualize that you have dropped your ego. You have become just egoless. And then the meditation process will start. So first it will be gauging with fast and deep breathing, with catharsis or whatever you wish to do, with open eyes. And then the music will stop, the lights will go off, you will use your earplugs, use your blindfolds then, and then remain still. And what is going to happen in that stillness, Osho has mentioned, he narrated a story. In a European country, there was a small boy was stolen by some gypsies. The gypsies were homeless people. They wandered from here and there, and they used to steal things, and they used to steal small children also. So this small boy was stolen by gypsy. They pegged his mouth so he cannot shout. They cuffed his hands and feet so he cannot do anything. He cannot make any noise. And they put him in a bag, and that bag was put on the bullock cart, and the bullock cart was moving, and gypsies were very happy to steal this boy from the village. It was evening time. That boy could not do anything, unable to move his hands, unable to move his feet. The mouth is plugged with some clothes. He cannot shout, cannot say anything. In that helpless state, he was just listening the sound of ringing bells of the church. There was one church in the village, and that was the time of prayer. And there's a small boy moving in the bullock cart, unable to do anything, but just listening. The bullock cart was moving away from the town, and the sound of bells became less and less louder, very soft, and almost disappeared. And this is the only thing that boy could remember about the village. He did not know any language at that age. He does not remember his father's, mother's name of the village. He became young at the age of 30. He could remember only one thing, the sound of ringing bells of the church in that village. And after the age of 30, he got the idea, he find out his home, his parents, but how? He has only one evidence, the sound of the church bells. So he visited many places, many villages, particularly in the evening time, and he will listen to the sound of bells ringing in the church. And he will say, no, this is not that kind of sound. This is not that kind of. He traveled far and wide in so many villages and rejected that this is not that sound. After about 7 years, in one village, he recognized, yes, this is the sound I was looking for. He went running inside the church, and suddenly he recognized, yes, I know this church. And the moment he recognized, the old memories, the past memories just became very fresh. He could recognize the roads, the street, and he ran over the road and he reached to his house and he recognized, this is my house. He went in and he recognized his parents. Of course, they had become quite old. He told them, I am your son. They were not able to recognize him. Then he said few incidences of his early age. Only he knew those incidences and the parents knew. Nobody else could know those. By telling those incidences, the parents also accepted him. and his life was full of joy. After 30 years, he reached home. After telling this story, Osho said, in this experiment which we are going to do tomorrow, if you hear even a small sound of God, then it will be with you forever. And wherever that sound is heard, you will understand immediately that the temple of God is nearby and you can reach your ultimate home. Next day, that Samuhik Shaktipat, the mass energy darshan happened. And Osho has already pinpointed what is going to happen. When you become silent, you will start hearing the sound of God. And once you hear that, you can reach the ultimate home. Okay.
In March 1974, after Pune Ashram was established, Osho stopped conducting meditations. Which method replaced the Tratak method?
This is an important question because up to 1973, there were only 3 methods being conducted by Osho. One was dynamic after the morning discourse. Second was kirtan and silence in afternoon. And third was Tratak meditation, the gazing after the night discourse. When Osho moved to Pune, he stopped conducting meditations and the Tratak was replaced by 3 meditation techniques. For active people, mandala meditation. For passive people, Gauri Shankar meditation. And for some deep seekers, the energy darshan. In mandala meditation, in the first step, we do jogging to raise our energy. In second step, we move our upper body, feeling the center of energy is navel center. And then we rotate our eyeballs. That brings all our energy to third eye. And then look within and listen within. Third eye is also the third ear. So this is mandala meditation. For people who are very active, young, healthy, only they can do it. But there are some old people, sick people, weak people, they cannot do this jogging for 15 minutes. For them, Osho devised Gauri Shankar meditation. This is to be done in the night, keeping your eyes open, looking at a strobe light of blue color. It is frequently getting on and off, about 500 times in a minute. It is blue strobe light. Watching it, gazing at it for 15 minutes. In the second step of Gauri Shankar, first step is just listening the music and doing kumbhak. Kumbhak means holding your breath. So the first step is kumbhak, breathe out, hold your breath as far as possible. Then breathe in, hold your breath inside as far as possible. This is first step. Second step is gazing at blue strobe light. And third step is latihan. This is a device given by Indonesian Saint Subud. Latihan. It is slow body movement, slow motion movements, and listening to the soft music being played at that time. So this is again another way of bringing the energy to third eye, the third ear, and then the fourth step, lie down, look within, listen within. So the Tratak, which was being done by Osho himself, was replaced by 2 methods, Mandal and Gauri Shankar, for active and passive people. And Osho continued to give in Urja Darshan. He himself put his thumb on the third eye of the seeker. At that time, there was blackout in the whole ashram. All the electricity was put off totally. Only the music was played as Osho gave instruction, and it was stopped suddenly as Osho gave the instruction. The musicians were nearby in the Chuangtzu auditorium, and all over the ashram, no electricity. So nobody can be occupied, nobody will be busy in doing anything. Everybody has to participate in this from their own room, from their own office, wherever you are. So we heard the sound of music. We knew now Osho is touching on someone's forehead. And when the music stops, a great silence prevails. Again, the music and movements are to raise the energy up, and Osho touching on the forehead. Of course, the whole energy moves there to the sixth or the seventh center. Sometimes Osho used to touch on the top of the head to bring the energy up there. And then sudden stoppage of music. Now nothing is happening, and listen. Watch within. So these are three methods which were replacement of Tratak meditation. Okay?
Okay. In many Hindi discourses series, Osho instructs to participate in kirtan after the talk. In the camps also, kirtan meditation used to take place in the afternoon, followed by a silent meeting. For what purpose is this method of devotion used?
Yeah, I would like to read few quotations from the Hindi books, because when Osho started speaking in English, gradually the kirtan, the devotional method, was not conducted anymore. The people who came from West, who understood English, most of them were not real devotees. They were more interested in the discourse, in the listening, in the logic, in the arguments, the way Osho speaks, and so many other things. People in the East are not interested in the discourses. They have a heart full of devotion. So the kirtan method is devotional method, and it was one of the main methods Osho conducted up to 1973. If you hear any Hindi discourses during the phase in the Mumbai also, you will hear after every discourse, he insisted that don't get up, don't leave the hall now. For 5 minutes, the sannyasis will do the kirtan and participate in it. I would like to read few quotations. This is from Gita Darshan, chapter 8, discourse 4. Krishna says, "O Arjuna, I will tell you about the supreme truth in very short. The knowers of all the Vedas call it Akshar, alphabet, Om. And this is the supreme space where sannyasins enter effortlessly, and many seekers practice celibacy for attaining it. That's enough for today, but no one should leave. Just enjoy kirtan for 5 minutes, and today everyone is going to do kirtan in sitting down position only. So you will not need to get up for watching what is happening on the podium. A stream of joy flows during kirtan, and if the Ganges flows from the shore, do not be mad, take a dip. So many people have gathered here. If so many people do kirtan with full spirit, then pure rays will spread all around and many will be benefited. The Onkar may start raining, the Om showering right now and right here. Let us all join in with sacred feeling, enjoy and clap, repeat Kirtan, feel blissful. Second quotation from Gita Darshan, chapter 8, discourse 5. A man who utters Om, one alphabet of Brahma, while leaving the body, that man attains ultimate freedom, moksha. Krishna is talking about the soundless sound Om. If there is ever an opportunity when there is no struggle within, absolute silence, no words, no mental noise, then listen inside with the eyes and ears closed. What echoes inside? Soon a unique sound will begin to be heard, which has never been heard before. That sound is called anahat, unstruck, because it is not born without, it is born without colliding with anything. It is the sound of existence itself. Drowned in this sound, the man who lifts the body, the ultimate freedom is attained. Enough for today, but no one should leave now. Try to be involved in Kirtan for 5 to 7 minutes. Something great may happen in these 5 or 7 minutes. No one should leave now. No one will get up. Kirtan will be done by sannyasins in sitting down posture. You also join in. Another from Gita Darshan chapter 13, discourse 5. Close your eyes and try to look inside. Close your ears and try to listen within for a few days. Slowly, gradually, all the noises will become calmed down, and a time will come when you will start hearing the inner sound. That sound is heard without ears. Even if someone destroys your ears completely, that sound will continue to be heard. Even the blinds can see the light of the consciousness. The blind can also descend into inner experience, and the deaf can also hear the sound of Om. But we do not work in that direction usually, and we never come to know what is hidden inside. That cannot be known by using sense organs. That can be known without our senses. We will stay for 5 minutes. No one should get up during this period. After the Kirtan, singing is over. Only music will be played just for 2 minutes. Do not get up even at that time. Remain seated for 5 minutes. Next, from Gita Darshan, chapter 7, discourse number 3. Krishna says, "O Arjuna, I am Om in all the Vedas." Om is the secret of all the Vedas. Om is a tactic to tap the energy of God hidden in the seed within the person. So Krishna says, just one word, Om, in all your 4 Vedas. Enough for today, but no one will get up. Energy hidden within you will start functioning. You will not be charged 999 rupees. They are also abundant. Not only the 1 rupees, but 999 also. But remain seated for 5 minutes and don't sit still. Clap, sing, shake, feel joyful and do the Kirtan. Before this, I will tell you the story of this 1000 rupees. There was a factory in India made by some foreign engineers. It was functioning perfectly well. After 2 years, something went wrong. And the Indian technicians and engineers gathered and tried to fix the machine in the factory, but nobody was successful. Finally, a man from abroad was called. He came, he looked at the machine, he just hammered 3 times at one spot and the machine started functioning. The owner of the factory asked him, "How much is your charge?" He said, 1000 rupees. This story is very old. At that time, 1000 rupees was like 1 million rupees. The owner said, "This is too much, 1000 rupees. You have just tapped 3 times with your small hammer. That's all you have done. How many rupees for first and second and third tapping? The engineer laughed and he said, just 1 rupee for tapping and 999 rupees for the knowledge where to tap. So this story Osho has said, and then now in the end he's saying, you will not be charged 999 rupees. Not even the 1 rupee will be charged, but remain seated for 5 minutes. And this kirtan is like tapping, hammering. So that's why he has said this story, and then he asked for kirtan. Next one is from Gita Darshan, chapter 10, discourse 9. O Arjuna, I am a letter, alphabet, akshar, om in the words. Just a letter om in all words. Om is a letter, but there are 3 sounds in it. A, U, M. The sound that these 3 gather together becomes om. Phonology says there are 3 fundamental sounds. All sounds are extensions of these 3 sounds. There are 3 seed sounds, A, U, and M. All the rest of the sounds are their different combinations. Om is made by combining these 3. So Om is Mahabij mantra, the great seed mantra. 3 sounds are produced from Om, and then the whole world of sound is revealed by these 3 sounds. Krishna says to Arjuna that out of all the letters, I am just 1 letter, Om. Leave all scriptures, there will be no harm. Forget all the scriptures, there will be no harm. Just 1 word, Om, should be remembered. That's all. That 1 Om is echoing within you. Gradually, the ability to merge yourself with 1 Om happens, and there is such a time when you disappear and only Om is vibrating within. That means God has entered in you. Because after Om, you enter the world of zero experience. You realize the great nothing and oneness with the formless God. Om is the last door to enter in divinity. Entering that Om is the entrance into me, says Krishna. I am 1 letter in all the letters. Enough for today, but do not leave now. Do kirtan for 5 minutes. The sound of this kirtan will establish a relationship between you and the whole existence. Sit quietly. So no one should get up during this period. After 5 minutes, when the kirtan is complete, only then you can leave. Next one is from Gita Darshan, chapter 13, discourse 9. Krishna says, O Arjuna, we see that Supreme Being in the heart through meditation with a pure, subtle intellect. Pure, subtle intellect. Osho explains, you hear the ordinary loud sounds with your ears. The louder the sound, the easier it is to be heard. The lower the volume, the more difficult it is to hear. Listening to loud sounds, your intelligence becomes gross. Sometimes close the ears and listen to the subtle sounds within. Gradually, a new world of sound will appear within you. Try to listen to the subtle notes of that low volume music. Your intelligence will become subtle and sharp. Close your ears and listen. Soon the sound of Om begins to be heard. It is the recognition that pure intelligence, subtle intelligence, is being created within you. I think these are enough quotations to explain the goal of all the Kirtan meditations was to listening to that divine sound. Okay?
Okay. By 77, 78, the group of foreign seekers around Osho grew greatly. Then, how did the format of Indian-style Kirtan meditation change?
Yeah, gradually it happened that there were less Indians and more foreigners, and foreigners also not all speaking English. Somebody is from Japan, somebody is from Korea, somebody from Germany, somebody from Italy, somebody from Russia, even from China. So many people from different countries speaking different languages. So they had no feeling of devotion with the Indian Kirtan music. And the number of Indians was becoming less and less. It took almost 1/6 of the whole Sannyasin world was Indian. That is the percentage of Indian population in the world also. Only 1/6. 5 were foreigners, 1 was Indian. So of course, there were not Indian musicians most of the time. Western musicians were there and they could play only the Western music. Of course, Osho did not like the Western music. He has never admired the modern music. Never, not even a single time. He never admired the Western music. He liked Indian music. He himself heard always the Indian classical music, the Indian classical singers. He was very fond of listening music. And in Rajneeshpuram, when he has finished with the gramophone record, he used to send the gift to me, the gramophone record. At that time, the gramophone was the only thing. Then the cassettes came later on. So he used to send the cassettes to me when he's finished with it. So I can tell you that he has never heard any Western music he didn't like. He only heard Indian classical, instrumental or vocal musics. He enjoyed it. But only during 4 festivals in the year, the Indian music was played. I'm talking about from 1974 till about 1977-78. After that, Western musicians took over because they were plenty in number, and so gradually the meditation and the celebration also is conducted under Western musicians. So this was a great change. When Osho returned after the world tour and he was in Mumbai for about 6 months, again Indians were given chance to sing or to play. Sometimes Swami Ashok Bharti, sometimes Ma Amrit Priya, sometimes Swami Anadi, sometimes Swami Yashwant Dev. They were playing some music. I remember on 11th December, Osho's birthday in 1986 at Manali, and then again in 1987 at Mumbai, Ma Amrit Priya was in charge of the music and she was singing Hindi songs devoted to Osho. She got 2 times this chance to celebrate the 11th December in Osho's presence. So what I'm going to tell you is, as the number of foreigners grew around Osho, the Kirtan was gradually replaced by the Western music. So this was necessary. There was no other way.
Osho stopped preaching in March 1981, and the silent satsang began in place of discourses. What is the secret behind it?
The same secret is behind it. When Osho was giving discourse, he was telling again and again that a time will come when you will become mature enough to listen to the silence. I will stop speaking. In March 1981, he stopped speaking. I would like to mention the last darshan diary of March 1981 is titled as The Sound of One Hand Clapping. And while giving sannyas and explaining the meaning of the name to the new sannyasins, Osho said this sound of one hand clapping so many times. You can read that book, The Sound of One Hand Clapping. Every day, some name is given which means the sound of one hand clapping. That means unstruck sound. You cannot clap with one hand. So this is the Japanese Zen expression, and particularly in March, Osho gave this title, The Sound of One Hand Clapping. And he talked about it every day, every day, every day. And the names were given to sannyasins, which meant the sound of Om. In Hindi discourse series, the last series in March was Bahu Tere Hain Ghat, in which he explains there are many places from where you can leave your boat to go to the other shore. There can be many kinds of boats. There can be many places. They are called ghat. Ghat means this shore. Bahu Tere Hain Ghat means there are many ghats to travel towards God. You can use any ghat, any place. You can use any boat, that means any meditation technique. But where you have to reach? The other shore, which is echoing with the divine sound. That is the ultimate goal. So these two titles given to the Hindi and discourse series in the end, and the last Darshan Diary in the end, these are very indicative. What is Osho is going to do next? And this in the silent satsang, again the arrangement was like this. Osho will come, sit down, we will bow down to him, saying Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Then the music will happen, and this will be the soft Indian music. It will stop after 3-4 minutes, and there will be silent period. And this will be repeated 3 times. In the end, we will bow down again saying Gacchamis, and then Osho will leave. So this continued for 1 month continuously. In May 1981, before Osho left for USA. So we can understand what is the target, what is the secret behind silent satsang. When the music is being played softly, listen to it. So all your energy comes to the ears with closed eyes, and suddenly the music stops and you start listening the silence, the silent music, the sound of Om. So that is the main target of silent satsang, which continued for about 3.5 years. Osho didn't speak for 3.5 years. In one discourse, Osho explains, Jain gurus often ask their disciples, how will one hand clap? We new disciples ask you, how will you clap with one hand? This was the question in Gita Darshan chapter 18 discourse is last question. Jain gurus often ask their disciples, how will one hand clap? We new disciples ask you, how will you clap with one hand? Osho replied, I am speaking to you. What I am saying is ahat, struck sound. What I want to say is anahat, unstruck sound. As you become liquid, melt, and merge, you will hear what cannot be said, but it is still ringing, which no one is playing, yet it is echoing. One hand is clapping every day, every moment. Hurry up, get ready. I will work in your silence, and I will meet you in silence. I have said many times, many things to you in words. Whatever is important, it cannot be expressed in words. And whatever is deeper, it has never been spoken in words. The real dialogue can only take place in deep silence. If you get into the experiment properly, I will be able to say something to you in silence, and I will be able to do something in silence. Just get ready. Be prepared. Okay?
In Pune 2 days, 87 to 89, what's the main target of meditation after discourse and White Robe Brotherhood meeting?
Just like silent satsang, the same procedure continued in White Robe Brotherhood meeting. Osho will come, sit down in his chair. We will bow down to him. Before he comes, we will celebrate with fast music. After he sits down, then the slow, soft music. Again, the silent period. Again, the music 3 times. And finally, Osho gets up. He does namaste. We bow down to him, and then he leaves. This was the White Robe Brotherhood meeting technique for listening the meditation, for listening the sound. In Pune 2 days, Osho himself started conducting meditation just for 10 minutes after the discourse is over. He will tell few jokes out of context, so our mind comes to a stop. When we laugh, we cannot think, remember? So this is a great technique devised by Osho, just telling jokes. Everybody is laughing, burst with belly laughter. Of course, mind cannot think, because in joke, something happens which is unpredictable.
Yes.
The story is going on, this happened, and suddenly a twist comes. The mind cannot imagine what will be the punchline of the joke. And that's why the mind stops and suddenly the laughter. So this is a great device used by Osho in Pune 2 days. After the discourse, he told few jokes. He said, now this is Sardar Gurdyal Singh time. He was a Sardar Sannyasin Gurdyal Singh and used to laugh loudly. Sometimes he used to laugh even before the joke. The moment Osho said Mullah Nasruddin, and Sardar will start laughing. He said, I have so much trust. Bhagwan is going to say some wonderful joke. So why to wait for the whole story? This is in the beginning, he will start laughing. So Osho has given a particular name to that period. He said, now Sardar Gurdyal Singh time. And then he will tell jokes and jokes and jokes. And suddenly, then he will say to stop, get frozen. In that silence, it is so easy to listen the sound of silence, the sound of Om. So energy awakening was done by the Western music, and then silent listening was supported by the Indian music. This was the technique, and the target was to listen to the existential music. I would like to mention one more thing. About 4 months before Osho left his body, it was announced in the Buddha Hall that Osho is saying that somebody is chanting a mantra. The sound of that mantra is hurting his navel center, his life center. And if that sound continues, he will die. He cannot tolerate that sound. So listen carefully who's making that sound and request that person to leave the Buddha Hall. This was announced again and again after a few days that Osho is becoming weak. His health is deteriorating, and he's saying somebody is chanting a mantra, and that sound is hurting his navel center. Listen carefully. Sometimes it was said that Osho said the sound is coming from right side of the auditorium. So be careful, listen from the right side. At that time, I did not know about the sound of Om. In fact, Osho was telling us to be sincere now. He is going to die soon. Listen. So in fact, there was nobody who is chanting mantra. It has nothing to do with Osho's leaving the body, but this was a device made by the master. He has been telling his whole life to listen within, and we were unable to listen. Now, he is making it very urgent. Now you cannot postpone it, otherwise the master is going to leave the body. So he made it so important, significant, cannot postpone. It is so urgent. You have to do it today. Listen, who's making the sound, from where the sound is coming, and he's giving indication it is coming from the right side. The truth is, this is just a device to help disciples. But what happened to me in that period, I can share that. I don't know what happened to everyone. I was in too much intention, very tense, very serious. And because of that tension and seriousness and urgency, I became restless and I was not able to hear. I didn't hear anything. And I was surprised. I could not understand that this is a device. So I could not get at that moment. But this was the last device used by Osho, that now be sincere. This is something very urgent. Okay, the next question.
This is the last one. And longing for Shailendra part 4. Starting from 21st January 1990, what is the main target of silent sitting in Osho Samadhi at Shwantazu Auditorium?
Of course, the target is same, to enter in Samadhi. And Samadhi is being explained by Osho in many Hindi discourses. When you start listening the sound within, then your meditation turns into deep Samadhi. When we are practicing rising of energy or awareness, that is called meditation. And when you start listening the sound and get merged with it, then it is called Samadhi. The unio mystica, becoming one with the God, that is Samadhi. You are no more there for some time. Only the sound is echoing. Only the divinity, only the godliness is there. So that is the purpose of Osho Samadhi. And Osho created the Chuangtzu Auditorium in such a way that it is soundproof. The walls are made of thick glass, soundproof glass, no vibrations, no sound, no noise can come from outside. And particularly, the air conditioners are put far away from the Chuangtzu Auditorium, so the sound of those air conditioning machines will not come here. And everybody is requested not to make any movement, not to cough or sneeze or talk. Once you enter in Osho Samadhi, you are not supposed to make any sound. Once you sit down, just remain seated. Don't even change your posture, because that changing posture will make sound and that will create disturbance. So Osho created his Samadhi in such a way so that all the meditators can enter into Samadhi by listening to the sound of Om, which is so strongly present there all the time. outside in the marketplace, we may miss it. But in Samadhi, it is very difficult to miss it. We will get it sooner or later. Even a new seeker who has not meditated before, if he just comes and sits silently, 1 hour is enough. So Samadhi has 2 meanings. The grave of a saint is also called Samadhi, and the state of deep meditation is also called Samadhi. So Osho has created his own Samadhi in such a beautiful way that it becomes a situation for hundreds of seekers to enter in Samadhi within, in the deep state of meditation. Thank you very much, Abhiro, and thank you very much, Divya, both of you.
Thank you, Shailendra.
Thank you, Shailendra. We are deeply touched
Yes.
by your help to all of us, okay? It makes more clear Osho's message, and you are digging deep secrets, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you to our beloved Master Osho, who has given all these secrets in very simple language. We are stupid, we did not understand. It took long time for us to understand. Long time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Osho.
Osho.
Osho. Ai, gente, não é muito? Não é muito?
Figuraça.
Demais, é demais.
Yes.
E a risadinha que ele dá, ele me ria assim, tão fofinho, tão querido, doce e profundo, até não poder mais, né?
Nossa, o cara foi pesquisar coisas, redescobriu coisas, né? Essas 3 meditações básicas, né? O Osho começou com a dinâmica, com o kirtan e tratak. Uma boa indicação para a gente brincar aí.
Aí, ó, né? Os amantes da meditação. Queridos, que bom tê-los aqui conosco durante a live toda. Ela vai estar disponível já já no YouTube também. Bom que não travou, não craquelou, deu uns cortezinhos no começo, mas eu acho
Tudo
que
certo,
deu para todo mundo.
Tudo certo. Tudo certo, gente. Muito obrigado. Terça-feira que vem tem mais.
Tem mais uma delícia, ao vivo.
Tchau, Didi.
Tchau, gente. Até mais.